let's think about your marketing for a second. Imagine it's a car. You've got the engine, you've put the fuel in, you even have a destination in mind. But how do you really know if you're getting anywhere? Or if you're just, running on fumes? Well, today we're gonna look at the dashboard that puts you firmly in the driver's seat, digital analytics. So ask yourself this. Right now, does your marketing feel like a nice, gentle Sunday drive with no particular destination? Or maybe worse, does it feel like you're driving at night with the headlights off, just kind of hoping for the best? Look, it's a really common feeling, that little nod of uncertainty about what's actually working. And that's exactly where digital analytics comes in. This isn't about some pile of boring data. No. This is your command center. It's your set of dials, your gauges, and all your little warning lights that give you the clarity to make smart decisions and steer your campaigns with some real confidence.
Okay, first things first, let's get familiar with the controls. We're going to check the dials and see what these core metrics are really telling us about our journey.
Let's start with the absolute basics, the things you glance at in any car, your speedometer and your odometer. In the world of marketing, these are your traffic metrics. Simple as that. They tell you how fast you're going and how far you've come by measuring how many people are stopping by your website. So, our first dial is sessions. Think of this as the number of individual trips made to your website. It's a great simple measure of pure buzziness. Are you getting just a little trickle of visitors, or is it basically rush hour on the M25? And right next to that is the users dial. Now this is difference, and the difference is key. See, one person might make 10 trips to your site. That's 10 sessions, but it's still only one user. This metric tells you how many unique individual people actually got in the car. It shows you the true reach of your marketing.
Okay, so people are showing up. That's fantastic. But is the engine running smoothly once they're on board? That's where your engagement metrics come in. These are like your engine warning lights, telling you if visitors are finding what they need or if something is causing them to stall out. Now, there's been a really big shift in thinking here. We all used to be absolutely obsessed with bounce rate, who showed up and left immediately. But modern tools now focus on engagement rate, which is just so much more useful. It tells us who actually stuck around, who scrolled, who clicked on something. It's the difference between asking who hated the party and asking who was actually having a good time. See the difference? So we know how many people are visiting and whether they're engaged. But here's the million-dollar question. Did we actually arrive anywhere? This is probably the most important alert on the whole dashboard: conversions. These metrics tell you if the entire journey actually achieved its purpose. And the key metric here, the real bottom line, is conversion rate. It's the percentage of visitors who did the thing you wanted them to do. They bought the product, they filled out the form, they signed up for the newsletter. This is what tells you if your car is just a pretty vehicle or if it's an effective machine that actually gets results. All right, so we're starting to understand the car's performance, but who's actually in it with us? To find that out, we need to take a look at our passengers. And for that, we use segmentation. I mean, it's a fair question, right? You might have a family in the back seat heading to the beach, while up front, you've got a business exec trying to get to a crucial meeting. You wouldn't treat them the same, would you? Of course not. And the exact same is true for your website visitors. This just puts it perfectly. Segmentation is really just the art of not treating your audience like one giant faceless blob. It's all about creating smaller, meaningful groups so you can understand them better and ultimately market to them way more effectively. So how do we actually split them up? Well, you can group your passengers by where they live or by their past behavior, what they've bought before. You can group them by how they even found you in the first place or what device they're using. And if you're in B2B, you can get really specific, segmenting by their company's size or their industry.
And here's what that looks like in the real world. Say you notice that passengers on mobile phones are getting frustrated and leaving the car early. Well, now you know you need to fix your mobile experience pronto. Or you could send a special thank you offer that only goes to your most frequent travelers. It's simple stuff, but it is incredibly powerful.
Right, now for what might be the trickiest part of our entire trip. When a journey is successful, how on earth do we know which parts of it were the most important? This is called attribution, and it's all about mapping that journey to give credit where credit is due. Ah, yes, every single marketer knows this feeling deep in their bones. You're spending all this money on all these different channels, but which ones are actually pulling their weight? Attribution is our best shot at finally answering that question without just, having a wild guess. You see, a customer's journey is rarely a simple A to B drive. It's usually more winding. They might see a billboard for you on social media, then use their map app on Google to find you, and then finally follow the directions you emailed them to arrive and make a purchase. So who gets the credit for that?
Well, there are a few different ways to decide. The old, really simple way is called last click. It's easy, sure, but it gives all the credit to the very last thing they did and ignores everything else. A more balanced view is a linear model, where every single step of that journey gets an equal share of the credit. This is fantastic for understanding the whole picture.
And here's that last click model in action. So in our little example, the email gets a whopping 100% of the credit for the sale. And what about that social media ad that started it all, and the Google search? They get absolutely nothing. 0. Seems a bit harsh, doesn't it? But if we switch to a linear model, look at that. The picture changes completely. The credit is split evenly. And suddenly, you can see that the social ad and the search were just as vital as that final email. Now you have a much, much truer map of what's actually working for you.
So, when you can read the dashboard, when you understand your passengers, and when you can map the entire journey, something amazing happens. You stop being just the driver. You become the strategic navigator for the whole business. You're the one who can step up and say with real confidence, we need to invest more on this road. Or, hey, that shortcut everyone loves, it's actually a dead end. Understanding this stuff empowers you to lead, not just follow directions. So I'll just leave you with this one thought. You've got the keys. You now know how to read the dashboard. The only question left is, where are you going to drive next?